Hello to the sign and back. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Toki Uzuru, also known as Toki. Today is the long-awaited continuation of my Disney vs. Origin series. This episode is going to be about Pocahontas. Because by the time this video goes up, it will be Thanksgiving. And what better than to go ahead and open up a can of worms about the indigenous people in America. This video specifically is going to end up being put into 3 separate parts because everything's a mess. There's Disney's portrayal of what happened with the Pocahontas legend. There's John Smith's portrayal about what happened in the Pocahontas legend. And then there's what we can actually say happened. We're going to be stepping our toes into very mature topics. But of course, we're just going to start with the Disney part of it, to go ahead and ease you into it. So if you do remember watching Pocahontas when you were younger, or watching it at all, you will end up knowing the ever so lovely songs, Just Around the River Bend, Colors of the Wind, Pocahontas basically ripping John Smith a new one. But for right now, we're just going to be focusing on the specific climax of the story, where Pocahontas goes to save John Smith's life. And now, because of the fact that I don't want to go ahead and continue to say John Smith over and over and over again, we're just going to be using the initials JS. So, how did JS get into this situation of being executed and also being saved by Pocahontas? Well, the English colonizers decided to go ahead and basically start an unnecessary war due to miscommunication on both ends. One of his English colonizer friends decided that it would have been a good idea to shoot first and ask questions later. Specifically, Kocoum, the person that Pocahontas was supposed to marry in the movie, ended up seeing Pocahontas with the English colonizers and just decided to go ahead and try to save her from them. An English colonizer friend of JS decided to go ahead and shoot Kocoum right in the chest. So while a colonizer friend decided to go ahead and run off like the coward he was, John Smith had to go ahead and deal with the repercussions of his friend shooting Kocoum. Disney, why are you not fair? Now, unlike a lot of people, I would end up giving Disney some slack because of the fact that this is not one of those things that's well documented. This is not one of those legends that is actually well documented, even though it is part of American history. So here's some of the things that Disney did get right, and it's just gonna be like little parts and pieces. It's not gonna be the main climax. I'm not gonna be talking about that until later in the video. But one, Pocahontas was already married to Kocoum. In fact, they already had a child. I don't know whether she ended up having oh, I don't want to go ahead and date him because he's so boring. But he was more of a reserved type tribe member. Realistically, there was an actual language barrier. A realistic and literal language barrier, which Pocahontas ended up breaking because she ended up learning English. The English colonizers were already set to go ahead and try to fight the indigenous tribe that was living in Jamestown at the time. It's not like they didn't wake up and chose violence that day. And now on to John's recollection of what happened. As he has stated in his 1608 account, there was a large feast followed by a talk with Chief Powhatan. But then he ends up changing his story in his letter to Queen Anne in 1616, and said that Pocahontas literally threw herself into harm's way just to save him. And that's when they met. There's also the whole slight bit of romance that he decided to go ahead and write in this book. I'm gonna say it right now, John Smith is not a reliable source of any of his adventures. This story specifically will tell you that he likes to go ahead and over-exaggerate what happens, or fantasize and write it down what happened. Basically, he lied. So now the actual truth, the origin of where this specific movie got, you know, most of its information or inspiration from. One, it was definitely from John Smith's journal, because they ended up using that legend of that telling of the Pocahontas story to try to teach kids in school that even though you two may be different, you can still have common ground. But if we are to believe that whatever happened, whatever John Smith said happened, he might have just been misunderstanding a tribal ceremony where there's like the metaphorical death of the old John Smith and the rebirth of him into the tribe for an execution.
I want to be in the tribe!
But again, he's inconsistent inconsistent when it comes to telling his adventures. So he's not really the most reliable source. There's also this one like huge problem that I haven't even gotten to until now, and that is the fact that even if it was an execution, which more than likely it would have been, especially with the way things were going, they wouldn't have had Pocahontas there. In the movie, she is portrayed as like this 17, 18-year-old woman. But according to historians, because we don't know her actual age or birthday, she would have been around like 11, 12 when the story would have taken place. And now for the last bit of truth, Pocahontas was not actually Pocahontas. Originally, that was her mom's name, but because of the fact that she resembled her mom so much, they just ended up giving her that name. She also had two other names, Matoka, and I don't want to go ahead and say this one wrong. But also, there's one more thing. John Smith in the movie itself irritated the heck out of me. And it's mainly because he was painted as this guy that can do absolutely nothing wrong, or can go ahead and basically fight a bear with his bare hands. Realistically, he would have been more similar to like a pirate. Like, everyone hated him. Anywhere he ever went, everyone hated him. In fact, he only ended up becoming captain because the ship he was on when they were going to what they said was the New World needed a captain. I have like so much more information that I didn't want to go ahead and talk about in this video, because there is actually a Pocahontas 2. If y'all want me to go ahead and do that, just either like this video or comment below to tell me that you actually want to see that, because that is going to need a trigger warning within itself. So now is about the time that I do my stereotypical YouTuber outro, where I, as a stereotypical YouTuber, would tell you to do the following. If you did like this video, or you want to go ahead and see the sequel to this video, technically, go ahead and press the like button. Press the like button, hit the like button, frickin' I don't know. Comment down below that you won't want to go ahead and see like the difference between Pocahontas 2 and what actually happened, because that was interesting. Or any other type of Disney versus Origins you want me to go ahead and do next. If you want to go ahead and see more of the Disney versus Origins or any other video that I decide to go ahead and do on my channel, press the subscribe button and then go ahead and click on the bell to make sure that you get notifications for whenever I post. Please make sure that it's turned on to all notifications so you will get all notifications. It's what it says on the tin. And again, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I know I haven't enjoyed having to do the research for it. I will leave all of the articles that I ended up using for this in the description below if you want to go ahead and read those. And I gotta get out of here because I gotta go get ready for bed. I have been Toki, and this is Toki saying, Toki out.